Okay, so here's the experiment. I've already set up, well, first just to, because I know some people are probably going to have some questions, the three in the back are actually grass seed, and I'll explain more about that sometime in the future. But I'm just going to go ahead and set them aside so they're not a distraction. This is really my table here where I've been working on, where I'm going to set up experiments where I take care of potting plants and what have you, and that way I just kind of have one surface that can get kind of messed up, and I don't know, we'll see how it works out. Built it last year, and then I just kind of stowed a bunch of stuff on top of it instead of actually using it. So now I'm going to try and stow my stuff elsewhere and use this as an actual gardening table. It's in the back of the patio. You don't usually see it because I'm usually facing the other direction. But I've already set up 3 of these, which I've saved from plants that I've bought in the past. They all have 4 compartments, and the soil in there is all the same, all from the same source. I won't say that it's exactly the same, but it's all from the same source, and I've already labeled based on what I'm planning on doing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant some Snapdragon seeds. I keep these mostly inside because they're so small, I'm afraid of them just blowing away. I'm going to have, if this is going to be a true experiment, you need to have a control, and that's what that says there. So this is Snapdragon, it has a date on it, and it says control. And then I'm going to have a second one here where I'm going to put, it says light on grounds. And the plan here is I've got some coffee grounds that I've been saving. That's what's over here. I drink mostly French roast. So that's all French roast in there. And I just let it dry out and then dump it in this old ice cream container. And I have my coffee scoop here for a measure. So the plan is that I'm going to put the seeds, and in the light on grounds I'm going to put 1 scoop, or I'm going to take 1 scoop and distribute it, and then on the heavy on grounds I'm going to put 2 scoops and distribute it. And I want to see if they germinate faster or slower based on what the coffee grounds do for me. Now, what I understand from coffee grounds is that it will raise the nitrogen and lower the pH, so it makes it a little bit more acidic. I'm not sure exactly. I can go back and look. My current source is myfolia.com to find out what these things want, and from what I remember of that, and I should actually go back and look at it, but what I remember of it is it's saying that it wants the seeds to be sown on the top because they need light to germinate. So I seem to remember the nitrogen requirement being medium. The question is, with my soil, I don't know exactly how the soil is doing. I took freshly from the bag of soil, but I don't know how much nitrogen is already in the soil. So because I don't know that, and because I don't know the pH of the soil, and I don't want to invest in a bunch of equipment, what I'm going to do is go ahead and do a germination test and see how well they germinate with different amounts of coffee. And so that should hopefully give me some idea of the pH and nitrogen in the soil. So here we go. This is going to be a little bit tricky. I can't. There's no way I'm going to get one individual seed in each. So I'm just going to try and broadcast evenly over the soil. There's plenty of seeds, and I didn't even really filter out the stuff from the seeds. The seeds were in their pods, and I didn't necessarily get rid of the pods, although realistically this is just essentially vegetative matter. There's a better term for that, I'm sure, but that's essentially, what you got if you don't even clean it out. At least my understanding, my belief would be that even if I put the pods in there that didn't have any more seeds in them, really those are just going to break down and give nutrients to the soil. And if I do it equally on all 3, then it doesn't really affect my experiment. So there's that. Now let me see about digging down and getting some, well, I don't want it to be too lumpy here. And so I'm just going to smooth that out. I'm going to say that's close enough to 1 scoop. And so for the first one, I'm just going to dump that scoop in my hand, and I did say that the Snapdragons want light to germinate, and I may be blocking them by doing this. Something I just thought of, but I'm not going to go through undoing it all. That actually turns out to be quite a bit for that one. And for the next one, I'm going to do the same thing twice. There's one scoop. And the top of these planters is going to look a little bit different. Oops. That's one. And this is getting kind of long, so it's probably going to be separated out as another side video, not part of the main episode. So I'll cover that when I get into editing. Hopefully you guys like the sort of new editing style. We'll see. So that's it. That's all set up now. Basically, I'm just going to add water, and we're going to check in on them every day. We actually have some rain coming. At least that's what the forecast says. So we'll see how that impacts it, but they should all be equally impacted by it. Also, I know Snapdragon prefers to have like 16 hours of sun when you're trying to germinate. That's just not going to happen unless I wait around for, who knows, a few weeks down the road when I know I'm going to get really sunny days, and we've got plenty of them this time of year, but I'm just not going to wait around for it, and they all get the equal amount of sun pretty much just by sitting here in a line with the other ones back where they were. And that's pretty much it. So hope you enjoyed the experiment. I'll update you. I might do a time lapse. I haven't decided, and I'll just let you know how things go. So that's it for the experiment, or the setup anyway.